This evening's episode of Mr. Hurley's Evening News is brought to you by this coaster that I found. Coasters. Now that's what I'm talking about. Enjoy the show. For celebrities, politics, sports, and anything else that might be relevant, you join us in News HQ for Mr. Hurley's Evening News. Hello and welcome to Mr. Hurley's Evening News, bringing you the news so you don't have to. My name is Mark Hurley, and this evening, once again, you join me here in News Headquarters. Let us go straight to the top stories this evening. Now, there is still no sign of my mug whatsoever. I've now begun to get used to the fact that there is no mug here next to me. Now, we're considering giving up the search in the kitchen area, but we advise viewers any information on our mug, please do again call the number below, and we hope for a swift return. Now, we're also going to be looking at the fact that I am once again wearing my festive Christmas tie in ready for the festive day. I've also found a tweed jacket this evening in my wardrobe, so I thought I would wear it. Now, we're also going to be covering again what is going on in Afghanistan. We are also going to be looking at Somalia and Christmas. We're also going to be going to Storm Ava, bringing new fresh flood fears for Cumbria and various areas of Britain, and we're going to be looking at some other smaller stories as the evening progresses. Now, what we're going to talk about now is the Taliban. This is going to be quite a big one we're going to cover. The Taliban, as I mentioned Monday, were fighting, began pushing forward into the strategically placed town of Sangin in the Helmand province of Afghanistan. Now, I mentioned that this is history repeating itself. Well, it seems to be, but as they're rearing their ugly heads again, this seems to be going that way. Now, they continue to push further into the strategic town of Sangin. Now, reports have said that they have taken the city centre. So the city centre reportedly has fallen to the Taliban. These are just reports, but it looks that way. Now, eyewitnesses have said and stated, this has come in, that the government forces in the area that are still there are putting up a fight in various districts of the town, so it is not completely under Taliban control. Now, if it is under Taliban control, it will be a huge stronghold for them to continue getting their kind of speed ahead of them for when they begin to act up in the region. Now, the Taliban have already claimed a victory. They've already claimed that they've won in Sangin, but this isn't the case, as there are still reports of government forces still holding out in districts. People are, though, preparing for what they say is the worst. Now, the Afghan National Army is sending in what they can, supplies, reinforcements, into what they're calling now a very desperate fight. This is because that the president of Afghanistan, the head of the Security Council, said that they lack the firepower due to when they had NATO at the support. They also say that this is one of the reasons why the Taliban are gaining such headway in this, and the Afghan National Army are suffering quite a lot of losses and almost ill-prepared, is because that the NATO forces, when they pulled out both last year and so forth, they pulled out so fast and they left the region so fast that once again the Taliban were able to move in, get more land, but the Afghan National Army was again still ill-prepared for kind of taking on this foe again, so they're calling out for that kind of support. Whether this could mean another NATO operation in the region of Afghanistan, like I said, repeating history, we're not sure, but there have been no mentions of that. The United Kingdom and the United States have rushed soldiers into the region of Helmand, but these soldiers are said that they are only there for the advising the Afghan National Army and the government security forces. They are not taking a combat role. Now, I'm going to go on to a bit of a festive story now. Now, you're probably thinking if it's a festive story, but it's not going to be kind of the festive story that you might have thought of. Somalia and Christmas. Now, Somalia their government have said that they are now officially banning Christmas celebrations in the whole of the country. They say this is because it's apparently damaging the Muslim faith, which is the predominant religion in the area. Now, I know that it's the predominant religion and there are people who don't celebrate Christmas. There might still be people who do celebrate Christmas in the region. Now, this is quite a difficult situation, quite a drastic move, a huge drastic move for the Somali government to do, but nothing else has been said on this, and they've just came out and said it in the past hours. But hopefully there'll be a way around it, but if not, we'll keep you covered, and we'll have to see what we can say about that. But by the looks of things, the Somalia has banned Christmas celebrations in the country. Now we're going to go on to British news. Now, currently we have been facing over England, on and off quite drastically actually, we have been facing quite a lot of terrible storms. Where I am living currently, where Mr. Hurley's Evening News studio is, there have been no storms as such to the degree that people are getting up north, but the winds have been incredibly strong. Now, currently Storm Ava is heading into Britain, and this brings in fresh flood fears in the Cumbria area in the north. Now, the northern region of Britain has been hit by quite dreadful rainfall and flash flooding, where the riverbanks have broken and their new flood defence systems have just been absolutely useless, really, not letting, because to the degree of the water. Now, over the past month this has been going on and off, and this is quite dreadful because families and elderly and people have been to be evacuated from their homes, airlifted from their homes as well. There have to be rescue operations and people have to go into community centres. Now, a lot of people were hoping that it would be sorted out by Christmas, which looked like the way that it was going, but with these fresh flood warnings coming in, we're not sure, and hopefully if they can stay safe out there, and if they do, I'm sure rescue operations will resume like they did over the past month or so. But if these floods do not happen, then hopefully people can enjoy Christmas. But regardless, I'm sure whether it's in a community centre where people are coming together, or if it's at home, I'm sure they will find time to celebrate Christmas and the festive days. Right, now what we're going to do now, we are going to go straight to the weather room. I'm taking you off guard now. You're probably wondering, oh God, what's he doing? Oh God, I'm not prepared for this. I'm not ready. It's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. Now, we're going to go to the weather room now, and we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to cut this show in half, and we're going to go to the weather room now. Mark, are you there in the weather room for us? We roll it up, brilliant. Hi there, my name is Weatherman Mark. You join me here in the weather room, and welcome to Mr. Hurley's Evening News Low Budget Weather Report. Now, it is slowly very close to Christmas now. Let us see what the weather has in store for us over the couple of days for Christmas. Let's find out. Yeah, just as I thought. I'd agree with that actually. Yes, it is a lot colder this evening. There is a lot of cloud out as well. It's a darker night and it's definitely a lot colder. Now, there is still a breeze also. I would wear, if you were going out, gloves, a scarf, a hat, a coat, maybe extra pair of socks, maybe a vest. Go wild, your choice, I'm not telling you what to do. But as I'm not going out, I would sit down in front of the fire and relax and see Christmas Eve in. Now, as we usually do here on Mr. Hurley's Evening News Low Budget Weather Report, if you do not live in the United Kingdom, please proceed to look out of your window now. Fabulous. You're looking at now? Brilliant. There is your weather report for this evening. Now, we will have to see what the weather is like on Christmas Eve also. To find that out, look out of your window on Christmas Eve, and there is your Christmas Eve weather report. Brilliant. So that has been Mark Hurley here in the weather room, and this is us saying we don't have the budget. Hope you have a lovely Christmas. Back to you, Mark. Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. Now, remember to keep what he says in mind. Right. We're also going to now look at some smaller stories. It's not the end of the show yet. Currently, it came out in Britain today, these certain spider robots. They made a ton of them, actually, and they've turned them for the festive season into reindeer. And now they've managed to make robot reindeers pulling Santa's sleigh. Now, this has been shown going around the area where they build these robots. I think this is an incredible, interesting advancement in technology, these kind of robots, and the way that it's going. But maybe Santa might take some notes, and maybe the elves might take some notes as well, just in case the reindeer are too old or they're not feeling well that night, and maybe this might benefit them in the North Pole. Now also, regarding the floods in Cumbria in the northern regions, now in the region of Amblesey in Cumbria, Now, a sheepdog, and this was happened this morning. A sheepdog has saved a flock of sheep from a flooded river bank where the river has burst its banks and caught the sheep off guard. But a dog has actually the sheepdog has saved the whole flock of sheep, and now they return safely to the farm. So from Mr. Hurley's Evening News, we hope the sheep are having a more dry night. Also, what's happened in British area now? A 3-year-old girl. I think this one's a fantastic story. A 3-year-old girl has called 999, the emergency line here, and stayed with her heavily pregnant mum who had fallen down the stairs. And now this 3-year-old girl, now I work in a school, now this 3-year-old girl, so she's not even at school yet, has called 999, managed to tell the ambulance where she lives, stay with her mum as well, and they got there on time and everyone's perfectly alright. And I think the little girl is an absolute hero for doing something like that on her own. Now I work in a school, and for a 3-year-old to do that is absolutely fantastic. So, well done to them. And we're going to keep with the dog theme for our last story this evening. Now, a stolen pug. A pug named Nelly, a stolen pug, this poor little pug, was found roaming around the streets of Lancashire and has now been reunited with its owner. Now, poor old Nelly the pug was stolen in October 2014. But they managed to pick up on the microchip where Nelly was now, and they found her in the streets of Lancashire, and she's perfectly safe now and has been reunited with her owner. And I think, personally, that story is one great one to go out on. Now, I think we're going to end this episode here of Mr. Hurley's Evening News. You've been a fab audience. I've enjoyed spending time with you as always, and I hope you have enjoyed spending time with me. I've absolutely loved it. I think it's a great ending for this episode with a stolen pug. Now, I will have to love you and leave you. I will be seeing you Friday. It might be Christmas, but I'm going to be giving you a Christmas message. Have a lovely Christmas, and I shall see you on Friday evening for the Friday evening special. This has been Mark Hurley in News HQ. I will see you then. Good evening and good night. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Mr. Hurley's Evening News. Thank you very much for stopping by, and remember to tune in on Monday, Wednesday, and especially for our Friday specials. Leave a like and a comment. Thank you and good night.